Hello and welcome to the Mindset RX series of the Alpha Movement podcast. My name is Tom Foxley and I help functional athletes gain the champ's mindset. On today's show, I go on a bit of a ramble, and I think it's such an important message that I'm not going to dilute the prelude with information about seminars and social media and all that kind of stuff, but you can find out more information about that. But I think you're going to enjoy this message massively. So here goes. So last night I was pretty much up all night. It was one of those nights when I went to bed and laid there and my mind was racing, and I was like, shit, I've got to get some of this down, because what was coming up was these super powerful insights into the way that the general CrossFit world sees mindset, and the way that I see mindset, and the way that the people who've been through my training see mindset, and the difference between the traditional CrossFit approach to mindset and the way that actually fucking works. And the issue essentially lies with the concept of fighting fire with fire. When we see athletes, we want to get pumped up. We want to get fierce. We want to get fighting. We want to really strive against something. Because we see the objective against us, we think, okay, I've got to fight through this. I've got to push through this. And listen to the language. It's the language we all hear from our coaches, from our athletes. Push through. Strive to get through it. Just work harder. Give more. Give all you've got. And this is exactly the example that is wrong with the way that functional fitness sees mindset. To get through discomfort, you don't fight fire with fire. You don't push harder. You don't strive to push harder. You don't strive to give all you can. To get through discomfort, you embrace it. You fight fire with water. I'm not being facetious, but fire services don't turn up to fight a fire with fire. They turn up with water, and they turn up with the appropriate tools for the job, more to the point. But that water is cool. It's calm. It's confident. It can get into any kind of area. It doesn't win by force. It wins by not even resisting, by allowing itself to do the work. It doesn't have to become expansive. It doesn't have to become aggressive. It doesn't have to work hard. It just does it by being water. It sits back. It's not something that is trying too much. And it's the classic monk example. I think the CrossFit world and the functional fitness world and the world of sports psychology and mindset is far too aggressive. It's far too macho. And it's far too, I've got to do this now, and anything that gets in my way is going to suffer. I think it's very reflective of the world that we live in. If we look at, let's get controversial right now with politics. Look at Trump. Look at the way he's dealing with North Korea. It's a fight fire with fire mentality. And we can say all we want about whether this is a bluff or not. And I'm not going to try not to get drawn into this. But that is the approach, the exact same approach that so many CrossFitters are taking towards their training. The true approach, the real approach, is to get comfortable with it. To sit there and embrace the hardship. To allow yourself to be almost overwhelmed by it, and to feel it, and to get comfortable with the uncomfortable. It's that old phrase, isn't it? Get comfortable with the uncomfortable. And by comfort, they don't mean force back. That isn't comfortable at all. The comfort is in taking the perspective, keeping the perspective as you embrace the intensity. It's about being calm. It's about being water. And the water, as we know, wins against the rock, not by aggressiveness and enthusiasm, but with persistence and being water. And that's what we have to do as athletes. And this is a quick podcast, and that's absolutely fine, because quite often the most powerful messages are the shortest and the most to the point, and I want to keep it that way. And I hope you can feel the passion and the integrity that I come at you with this message with, because this is the truth, and this is the fundamental roadblock that sits between so many athletes and what they achieve. And this, like, to take the discomfort, to take the example of discomfort and extrapolate it out, it's not only in WODs. When we're in a WOD and we want to push through, the idea is not to push through. It's to allow ourselves to push through. It's to be that water. When we get the resistance to our nutrition plan or our mobility plan, or even just being a happy, nice human being, when we get that resistance, when we want to push through it and be aggressive, that is not the answer. The answer is to sit and be comfortable. It's to observe it. It's almost a meditative practice in as much as we're observing, we're not forcing through. And that is the biggest misconception within the world of CrossFit and training. We can look at the world of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and look at the world of martial arts where you don't push through the discomfort. You use it to your own advantage. You use the force to your own advantage, the force not being the Star Wars reference. You sit back and you become like water. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is, and everything in between, is the end of a very short, very succinct podcast. But if you have any questions about this, or you want to just share the love, feel free to head over to mindsetrx.com or find me at facebook.com/tom.foxley or Instagram, which is @tomfoxley. And and this whole thing is going to go through a massive kind of reshuffle of how we're doing things. This is going to become Mindset RX. This isn't the alpha movement anymore. We've gone way beyond that. And you guys are the first to find out. So if you have any love for me, let me know on iTunes. Head over to iTunes and leave a 5-star review. Tell your friends, all that kind of good stuff. And I'll speak to you guys very soon.